Hello and welcome to SatTV Week, the news programme for the international satellite industry. In this week's programme, Richard Hooper talks to Martin Jarrold about the use of satellite in the oil and gas industry, and Georgina has the news headlines. But first, in what could be considered a world record, new tech has demonstrated a 310 megabits per second transport over a 36 megahertz transponder. Tests and validations were carried out using existing antennas and power infrastructure on Yarsat's Y1A. The resulting full duplex STM1 has never before been achieved on a 36 MHz transponder. NewTek will be making its next generation technology, capable of enabling these speeds, commercially available during 2012. The link was established using NewTek's next generation satellite IP modulators and modems, in combination with its bandwidth cancellation units. Now here's Georgina with the news headlines.
Seacom Satellite Systems has received $1 million in orders for its iNetView mobile antenna products from Russia. The iNetView mobile satellite antenna systems will be used for oil and gas exploration, military communication and disaster management. Some of the systems have already shipped and the balance will be delivered before the end of April. A number of antenna systems are configured with the iNetView 7000C controllers, which support the GLONASS satellite navigation system. This modern GPS system is operated by the Russian Space Forces on behalf of the government. The same controller already supports the US GPS system. Seacom is one of the first companies in the world offering its Russian and other global customers the benefits of worldwide GPS coverage provided by two satellite navigation systems. Fransat, Samsung and Neocean have unveiled the new face of satellite reception of free digital terrestrial television channels in France. The three companies have combined their skills to integrate a satellite receiver and a DTT module for Fransat into Samsung televisions in its 2012 ES series. The pack comprises a decryption module produced by Neocean and an access card for subscription-free reception of Fransat, the French satellite TV platform owned by Eutelsat. SES has announced that Super RTL HD will join the HD Plus platform in Germany from May the 1st. The channel will be the 13th commercial broadcaster to join the leading German platform for HD content. Super RTL HD complements the range of HD Plus channels with a diverse lineup. It is the fourth channel from Media Group RTL to join HD Plus.
And finally, Richard Hooper spoke to Martin Jarrold, Chief of International Programme Development for the GVF, and started by asking him what was responsible for the growth in demand for satellite communications in the oil and gas industry.
Well, it's fair to say, like any analysis of a market situation like this, it's quite complicated. I mean, historically, of course, and this has been evidenced by reports published over the last several years, is that significantly the oil and gas sector, in terms of its demand for ICT solutions, has historically been very much, if you like, pipeline driven, orientated towards rather more narrowband solutions focusing on the delivery of data from SCADA applications. What's changing now, however, is that whereas that legacy, if you like, is still there, and indeed itself growing, there is an increasing emphasis on the need for much greater bandwidth-based broadband solutions. So a lot of the new demand drivers coming from the oil and gas sector feeding into the requirements on the satellite sector is for those broadband solutions. And the nature of that market is growing significantly for a number of factors, for a number of reasons. There is the growth in the geography of the oil and gas exploration and production arena, in as much as new parts of the world are the focus of exploration and production activity. Particular growth areas, for example, are Asia and Latin America. But it's not only the geography, it's also the types of topography, if you like, within the geographies, in as much as that exploration and production is taking place further and further offshore, in the case of offshore developments, and increasingly in deeper and deeper water. And in those kinds of environments, in those geographies and topographies, it's only really satellite that can provide the kinds of solutions that the oil and gas sector needs. But I mentioned, of course, the increasing emphasis on broadband. Now, why is there that increasing emphasis? It's primarily because the oil and gas industry itself, in becoming much more sophisticated in terms of its equipment, in terms of the kinds of data it needs to support the moving of expensive drilling rigs from one location to another in order to conduct exploration, drilling, and to move forward into production. Those kinds of data are extremely bandwidth hungry because there's so much of it. And the objective is always to transfer that data to where the experts are, rather than bringing the experts to the exploration and production location. It's a more cost-effective way of approaching the analysis of the data. But in terms of the analysis of the data as well as the raw data, many of the applications now that the oil and gas industry has at its command are extremely bandwidth hungry. So there is an inevitable strength in the drive towards broadband. And satellite isn't the only telecommunication platform that can deliver on that, given the remoteness of the EMP activity. But it provides the kind of bandwidth flexibility that is required, and increasingly at the kind of a cost and price level that the oil and gas industry is finding absolutely necessary to be able to address in terms of the cost benefits, because of getting that data and managing that data to justify EMP activity in one location, then another, and then another.
That's all for this week. Thanks for watching.